She said you don't fit the image, sweetheart. That's what my mother told me, her voice trembling with fake sympathy as she avoided my eyes. My sister Emily had just texted me. Please don't come to the wedding. You'll embarrass me in front of his family. Embarrass her? I stared at the message, the letters burning into my phone screen like a brand. I'd spent months helping her plan that same wedding, hand-painting the place cards, stitching the hem of her white dress, pretending not to notice when she forgot to thank me. And now I was the embarrassment. My name is Rachel. And from wherever you're watching this, stay with me. Have you ever been treated like a stranger in your own family? The news spread faster than the scent of betrayal. Dad stayed quiet. Mom sighed. You know how Emily gets. They didn't defend me. They didn't even ask how I felt. By that evening, my seat at the ceremony was given to one of the groom's distant cousins. And just like that, I was replaced in my own sister's story. But what no one knew was that I'd kept every text, every conversation, every cruel whisper between Emily and her fiancé, the ones where she mocked him behind his back, bragging about how she'd finally trapped money. When she took my dignity, she also handed me her secrets. That night, I watched the waves crash against the rocks by the coast. I deleted her contact. I didn't plan revenge. Yet. I just wanted peace. But peace has a way of turning into power when you've been humiliated long enough. The next morning, I woke up to a new message. Liam Carter. From him. Emily's perfect fiancé. I think the man she flaunted like a trophy. And just like that, the wedding clock started opening his message. My thumb hovered over the screen as if touching his words would set something on fire. Rachel, I know you and Emily aren't on good terms right now, but I found something strange. Can you please talk to me before Saturday? Saturday. Their wedding day. I typed back one word. Why? Within seconds he called. His voice was rough, restless, like someone who hadn't slept in days. Rachel, I saw screenshots, he said. From Emily's group chat. Someone sent them to me anonymously. He paused. They were talking about you. About how your clothes are too middle class, and how I'll learn to look past that. And then, she said she doesn't love me. She loves the life I can give her. Silence. Only the hum of the ocean outside my window. I could have lied. Could have told him it was nothing. But I didn't. She said worse things, Liam, I whispered. And I have proof. I opened my laptop, the folder named E's wedding, and there it was. Weeks of voice notes, screenshots, and photos. Emily laughing about keeping him wrapped, mocking his mother's illness, calling him a financial investment. He listened. Every single word. Not interrupting. Not even breathing loud. When I finished, he said just 5 words. Don't come to the wedding, right? There was a bitter laugh in his tone. I won't, I said. But he answered, oh, you'll be there, Rachel. Just not the way she thinks. He hung up. And in that silence I felt the air shift, like the moment before a thunderstorm. For the first time in years, I wasn't the one being pitted. I was the storm. That night, I packed my camera, my dress, and that folder of proof onto a flash drive. I didn't know what Liam was planning, but I knew I'd be ready when it unfolded. Because sometimes revenge doesn't need to be planned. It just needs to be earned. And as the sun rose over the coast, my phone buzzed again. See you Saturday. The message wasn't from Liam. It was from Emily. And beneath it, a single line that made my chest tighten. Try not to ruin this for me again. She had no idea. The morning of the wedding smelled like salt, roses, and lies. I drove back into town wearing a lavender dress, the one Emily once called cheap but charming. The irony wasn't lost on me. As I pulled into the grand estate she'd rented for her perfect fairy tale ceremony, I felt like a ghost haunting a world that had forgotten me. Guests drifted through the gardens holding champagne flutes, laughing like nothing in the world could touch them. I stood at the edge of it all, invisible. Just how my family liked it. Mom spotted me first. Her smile flickered, then vanished. Rachel, you shouldn't have come, she whispered. I shrugged. Relax, Mom. I'm just here to wish her well. She didn't believe me, Maybe because even I didn't believe me. Emily arrived minutes later, wrapped in white lace and arrogance. The photographers swarmed her, flashes igniting around her like a halo of hypocrisy. Then her eyes found mine. "Why are you here?" she hissed, dragging me aside. "You said I'd embarrass you," I said softly. "I figured I might as well live up to it." Her expression froze, then cracked with fury. "Don't you dare ruin this day for me." "Don't worry," I said, leaning closer. "That's not my job." Before she could respond, Liam appeared. He looked composed, but there was a stillness in his eyes, the kind that only comes before destruction. He kissed her cheek too softly. "Everything ready?" he asked. Emily beamed. "Perfect," she said. But when his gaze slid to me, his smile didn't reach his eyes. "Glad you could make it, Rachel." I nodded once. Wouldn't miss it. The ceremony began under a white gazebo overlooking the ocean. Emily glowed like a magazine cover. My parents sat in the front row, proud and blind. And as the officiant began his speech, I noticed Liam's hands, steady, too steady. Then, as the officiant said, "If anyone here knows of any reason why these two should not be joined in marriage." Liam stepped forward. "I do." The crowd gasped. Emily's bouquet slipped from her fingers. Liam reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a small flash drive, the same one I'd given him. My heart stopped. "This," he said calmly, "is what your bride really thinks about me." The speakers crackled. Her voice filled the air, mocking, cruel, unmistakable. "He's nice, but I'd never date him if he weren't loaded. Let's be real." The words echoed across the stunned garden. Emily's face drained of color. My parents stared at her like they'd just seen a ghost. I should have felt satisfied. But what I felt instead was silence, deep and hollow. Because revenge sounds louder than justice. And this was just the beginning. 2 days after the wedding, my name was everywhere. Someone had leaked the video to social media. Clips of Emily's confession, her voice dripping with arrogance, were all over TikTok, Reddit, YouTube. Millions watched the runaway bride who got exposed at the altar. And in the comments, one name kept showing up. Mine. People called me the mystery sister who knew. Some hailed me as a hero. Others accused me of ruining her life out of jealousy. But Emily, she wasn't going to take humiliation lying down. By Wednesday morning, I walked into work to find HR waiting for me. "Rachel, we received a complaint," my manager said stiffly. "From your sister." Emily had sent an email to my company, claiming I'd illegally recorded and distributed private conversations, attaching fake screenshots and edited clips. I was placed on administrative leave. She didn't just want to hurt me, she wanted to erase me. That evening, I drove home through the rain, my phone lighting up with dozens of missed calls. My parents. Reporters. Unknown numbers. But one name made me pull over and breathe. Liam. His voice was quiet when I answered. "I'm so sorry, Rachel. I didn't mean for it to go public." "It's not your fault," I said, though my throat burned. "She's doing what she does best, playing victim." He sighed. "I can help clear your name. I have her original voice notes, the ones she sent me." "Keep them," I said. "You might need them more than I do." There was a pause. Then he said, "You don't deserve this." "None of it." I wanted to believe him, but my world was unraveling too fast. My job gone. My phone buzzing nonstop. My parents leaving voicemails begging me to fix it before it ruins our family name. I didn't cry. Not this time. I just sat in my car, rain sliding down the windshield, thinking how betrayal always comes dressed as love. That night I packed again just like I did before. Only this time I wasn't running from them. I was running toward something. The truth. Before I left, I posted one photo to social media. A quiet shot of the sea, taken from the same cliff where I first read Emily's message. Caption read, "You can't ruin someone who has nothing left to lose." I didn't know it then, but that post would go viral by morning, and it would bring Emily's darkest secret into the light. Because what she'd done to Liam wasn't just emotional. It was criminal. By dawn, my phone was a storm of notifications. Tens of thousands of likes. Hundreds of messages. Reporters wanted interviews. Strangers sent support. But one message stood out, from an account with no profile picture, no followers. "You're right about her. Check the prenup." I froze. Prenup? Liam and Emily had been together barely a year before the engagement, but Emily had pushed for a prenuptial agreement. She'd bragged once half-drunk that she'd get around it, if she ever needed to. I never thought twice until now. I called Liam. He answered on the second ring, his voice cracked from exhaustion. "I know," he said before I could speak. "That message wasn't from me, but they're right. My lawyer showed me the prenup yesterday." "What about it?" "There's a clause," he said. "If she gets caught committing fraud, she forfeits everything. And Rachel, she forged my signature on a joint investment." I blinked. "What?" He sent a photo of the document. His name, his real clean signature, looked perfect. Too perfect. Emily had forged it, then funneled his money into an offshore account under her maiden name. A setup for when she planned to leave him. My pulse hammered in my ears. "Liam, that's illegal," he finished. "And I can prove it." We met that evening in a small cafe by the marina. He looked nothing like the groom I'd seen days ago, his tuxedo replaced by a hoodie and dark circles under his eyes. He slid a flash drive across the table. "Everything's here. The emails. The account details. She's been lying since day one." I took the drive. My hands trembled, but not from fear. From purpose. "What are you going to do?" he asked. "Show the world what she really is." But before I could, I saw a black SUV parked outside the cafe. Two people sat inside, one holding a camera. My stomach twisted. Emily wasn't just watching. He was tracking. I stood clutching the drive. "She's following me." Liam cursed. "Go." "No. I'll handle this." I ran through the back exit, rain slicing through the air, headlights flashing behind me. My heart thundered. My lavender dress clung to my skin as I ducked into an alley, breath shaking. My phone buzzed. A new message from Emily. "You think you can expose me? Let's see who they believe when you're gone." I stared at the screen, drenched and trembling, realizing her threats weren't emotional anymore. They were dangerous. She wasn't protecting her image. She was protecting a crime. And she was willing to destroy anyone, family or not, to keep it buried. I didn't go home that night. I drove for hours, my hands shaking on the wheel, headlights slicing through the rain. Every car behind me felt like a shadow. Every reflection looked like her. By morning, I reached the one place she'd never think to look. Our childhood town, 3 hours inland, where we used to build sandcastles and bury secrets we thought would never surface. I checked into a cheap motel. Curtains drawn. Heart still racing. Then I opened Liam's flash drive. Emails. Transfers. Voice notes. Proof that Emily had forged his signature, laundered money into an offshore account, and even used fake invoices to hide it. It was all there, meticulous, methodical, monstrous. For years I'd called her manipulative. But now I understood she wasn't just cruel. She was calculating. I didn't go to the police right away. Not yet. I wanted the truth to burn in daylight. So I uploaded a single post. A short video. Just my voice over a still image of our childhood photo. When someone takes everything from you, you don't destroy them. You just show the world who they really are. Then I attached the documents. Every page. Every timestamp. Every proof of fraud. Within an hour, the video had over 100,000 views. By noon it hit 1 million. And by evening the headlines exploded. Runaway bride exposed for financial fraud. Emily Carter under investigation. She called me 37 times that day. I didn't answer. Then she left a voicemail, her voice breaking for the first time I could remember. "Rachel, please. I'll fix this. I'll tell them it was a mistake. Just don't ruin me." I sat on the edge of the motel bed listening to her sob. For a moment I almost felt sorry. Almost. But then I remembered the way she looked at me that day, in her white lace, telling me I didn't fit her image. By nightfall the police had already frozen her accounts. Liam confirmed the lawyers were preparing charges. I watched the footage on my phone. Emily being escorted from her penthouse, face hidden behind oversized sunglasses, reporters shouting her name. The same cameras that once adored her were now devouring her. My parents called me next. Mom's voice trembled. "What have you done, Rachel?" "What she was too cowardly to face," I said quietly. There was a pause, then Dad whispered, "You didn't have to destroy your sister." I closed my eyes. "No, Dad. She destroyed herself. I just turned on the light." Outside the rain had stopped. The world felt clean again. But deep inside I knew one thing. Justice always costs something. And I hadn't yet paid my full price. Because when you bring down a monster, they don't die quietly. They drag you with them. They arrested Emily the next morning. The footage played everywhere. Her walking out of the courthouse in handcuffs, her parents behind her, eyes hollow and stunned. The perfect daughter, the golden bride, the family's pride, shattered in the span of 72 hours. I watched it from my motel room, wrapped in silence. No victory music. No cheers. Just the low hum of the TV and the soft crash of waves outside. Liam called later that evening. "She confessed," he said quietly. "Said she forged everything. Tried to blame it on stress, but the investigators didn't buy it." I didn't speak. I couldn't. My throat felt raw, my chest hollow. "You did the right thing, Rachel," he said. "Even if it doesn't feel like it." When we hung up, I drove to the coast, the same spot where this all began. The same cliffs where I first decided to disappear. The sun was setting again, painting the sky in bruised shades of gold and violet. For the first time in years, it felt like the world wasn't spinning without me. It had slowed down enough for me to breathe. I sat there until the wind picked up, until the ache in my chest turned into something softer. Not peace exactly, just release. A week later, a letter arrived at my door. No return address. Just my name in a familiar shaky script. Inside was a single line in Emily's handwriting. "You were always stronger than me." I didn't cry. I just folded the paper and placed it in a drawer. My parents haven't called since. The silence between us is heavy but clean. Like something scorched down to the roots. Liam moved away, started over. He sent me one last message before leaving. "You deserve a life that isn't built on other people's lies." And maybe that's what this was all about, not revenge, not justice. Just freedom. Sometimes you have to burn the bridge to see who's been following your smoke. Now when people ask about my sister, I tell them this. She taught me the difference between family and familiarity. Family stays when you're nothing. Familiarity leaves when you stop serving a purpose. As the tide rolled in, I whispered her name once. To the sea, to the wind, to whatever still remained of what we used to be. Then I turned away and walked toward the fading light, each step quieter, lighter, final. The waves closed behind me like a curtain.